Is this it for Bill Belichick with the Patriots?
I think it is. And I want to say two things. First of all, the lovely Catherine gives me a hard time about this. I say this all the time. Both things can be true. Bill Belichick deserves all of the plaudits and all of the success and all the honors that come with all of the Super Bowls that he won. I think it's really low-hanging fruit, and it's a lazy take to say, oh, the Patriots are bad now. See, it was all Tom. Bill Belichick was and has been a great defensive mind forever in this game. Someone had to make calls to call a timeout at the right time. Someone had to scheme defensively. Someone had to draft and decide which players would come into New England and have success. How many times did we see over the years someone who had not had success elsewhere come into Foxborough and suddenly have success with the Patriots, not just because of Tom Brady, but because of the culture that Bill Belichick helped create? So let's not go overboard here and say, oh, it was just Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't play defense, okay? Give Bill Belichick his flowers. At the same time, I think we've gotten to the point now where I don't know if the game has passed him by, but sometimes your time just comes to an end. And there's no shame in it, right? He's had a historical run in New England. He has been incredible, but they haven't drafted well. He doesn't really have a quarterback. It's time for him to close up shop, and there's no shame in that. It does happen. One of the greats, if you want to say the greatest, you can make that argument, but it's time for his era in New England to come to an end.
I think so as well. Like, how much further can the Patriots fall? Because it has been back-to-back seasons of, like, at least in years past, it's been mediocre. Now they're below that line of mediocrity, which is not something that New England sports fans are used to. Like, look at how much success that Boston teams have had. So I think that dynamic goes into it too. If he was the coach of, like, the Arizona Cardinals or something, they would be like, yeah, fine, we'll give him a few more years. It's fine. But no, it's the urgency that is surrounding that sports fan base is a little different than any other team or most franchises in the NFL. Did we all hear the rumor yesterday that Bill Belichick could be going to a different team to be a GM? Dan Orlovsky floated this rumor on the Pat McAfee show. I think it was just yesterday. Do we think there is anything to this? And do we think that Bill Belichick, like Tom Brady, could go to another team and be successful? Here's what I want to know about. Have you been watching the Patriots games? There is no love lost between Bill O'Brien and Mac Jones. So where do you think they go from here? Do you think it's Bailey Zappi time? Do you think Mac Jones is still going to be the guy moving forward? Or do you think this is just one big train wreck?
Yeah, well, having watched both Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones in the Germany game and the little time that Bailey Zappi had on the field and how that went, I would say they're going to go with third string quarterback Will Greer because that's where they are now. They're in a Tommy DeVito level midnight here where they need to play their third string quarterback, I think, because if not, I guess Bailey Zappi is the guy, but they put him in there to see if he could orchestrate a game-winning drive, and he could not. By any means. He fake spiked an interception. Like, what are we doing? This is the biggest train wreck I've ever seen because, I mean, this is the team that I watch. So I watch this and I cannot believe that this is the New England Patriots. They are an absolute dumpster fire train wreck. At this point, I don't know how they're not just tanking because there's nothing left. There is absolutely nothing left of the season. Bill Belichick is out here in shirtless ring cam videos, and that is him. People are saying, oh, maybe that's him. I don't know. That's him. And I can't believe that was allowed to be out there. And the Bill Belichick of 3 years ago, would never let that video be released. No way. And then be smiling at the press conferences following it. Absolutely not. The Patriots are in a free fall. It's chaos, out of control, and they're unrecognizable as a team right now. So going forward, I would say by Christmas Eve, Bill Belichick will still be the head coach, but the quarterback will not be Mac Jones. And I don't think it will be Bailey Zappi. I think it's Will Greer or somebody that they bring in because this is incredibly unbelievable how the Patriots have gotten to this point. Robert Kraft, before the Germany game, is saying that he spoke to the team, and winning is critical in the Germany game. And he's never been 2-7 at that time. He's never been 2-7 before. You're now 2-8, having lost a primetime game on an international stage. So the Patriots right now are an embarrassment, and going forward, changes absolutely have to be made. And I think that will be at the quarterback position, Will Greer or somebody else.
When you see something like this, where there is a star player who is questionable, because we're going to deal with this a lot during the NBA season, especially because we are a morning show. Do you try to guess if this player is playing, or do you simply sit out this game and say, okay, if he doesn't play, I don't like this bet, and I don't want to risk it?
Oh, man, I don't know. This early in the morning is definitely tough to cap NBA. I feel like, at least for me, handicapping the NBA is the hardest sport to handicap. That's just personal to me. I find it very difficult. And one of the reasons you mentioned is, yes, who's going to play, who's not. Sometimes we find out minutes before the game, an hour before the game. Right now it's 6:47 in the East. None of these decisions have been made. I guess, first of all, didn't we just handicap this game a week ago? Is this going to be like Mariners and the Twins during baseball season, where we saw this game 85 times? In 2 weeks, is it going to be Celtics and 76ers again? I'm already tired of handicapping this game. I'm going to go with the Sixers. They've won 8 straight. They're 5-0 against the number in their last 5 games. They're 8-1 against the number this season. That's tops in the NBA. So I don't know what's going to happen with Embiid. At some point, the Sixers do have to come back to earth a little bit, but I would lean Philly in this spot.
We've got the T-Wolves and the Suns laying 5.5 at home here. What's the side? What's the play?
This line is just interesting to me. Suns laying 5.5 when they've lost their last 4 home games, and the Wolves have won their last 6 games, and I mean pretty convincingly in a lot of those. I know the Wolves had a back-to-back, their third game in 4 nights, something crazy like that, long road trip. But the way Minnesota's been playing, I'm not sure they deserve to get 5.5. I would have thought this line was a little bit shorter. There is a chance. I mean, we saw that whole brawl in the Wolves-Warriors game last night that maybe some players are suspended. I would find that hard to believe if Rudy Gobert is one of them. He was the one in the chokehold. But that could be part of this too. Phoenix is just kind of desperate for a win. I think I think Bradley Beal or Devin Booker, one of the two will play tonight. They're on the injury report as questionable, but it seems like the Suns have been kind of trying to at least fit one of those guys in throughout, these last couple of games. So if that's the case, this line's just so a little fishy to me that I feel like the right side is Phoenix laying the 5.5, especially at home. They're desperate for a win, and the Wolves finishing up this really long road trip. They're kind of a sell high team for me right now.